Most people think dog training starts with teaching, but the truth is, it starts much earlier, with desire. If your dog doesn't want what you have to offer, nothing else matters. That desire, the spark in the eyes, the eagerness to engage, the willingness to try again and again, isn't forced, it's created. And when it's there, everything becomes possible. Solving behavioral issues, building new skills, refining precision, and forming a deep working relationship. Engagement is the foundation of it all. But engagement isn't about commanding attention, it's about making the dog want what you have with intensity. And that brings us to the core idea. The true skill of training lies in knowing how to shape and manipulate a dog's motivation. This video focuses on 5 key factors that give you control over that process: deprivation, reward quality, dynamics, session length, and outside management. When you understand and apply this, training becomes something the dog is not just willing but eager to participate in. Let's begin with deprivation, and despite how it may sound, this isn't about withholding care or punishing your dog. It's about managing strategically the access that your dog has to what he values the most. The more available something is, the less powerful it becomes. If food is always accessible, it loses value. If toys are left out all day, they become background noise. By creating controlled scarcity, we increase the perceived value of the reward. Feeding during training instead of from a bowl is a perfect example. You're not giving less food, you're simply channeling it through effort and interaction. The same goes for toys. A tug toy that only appears during sessions becomes a signal for work and excitement. Strategic deprivation doesn't create excessive frustration, it builds focus. It tells the dog, when you engage with me, good things happen, and adds meaning to the reward and turns every training moment into an opportunity. Now, if deprivation creates hunger, reward quality decides what the dog is actually hungry for. Not all rewards have the same impact, and too often handlers assume food equals motivation. But motivation is personal. Kibble might be fine for basic maintenance, but it won't spark intensity in most dogs. On the other hand, high-value food like fresh meat or freeze-dried organs can shift the entire tone of a session. The same applies to play, social interaction, or access to the environment. The better you reward, the more your dog wants to work. You don't need to use the same reward every time. In fact, variation helps keeping things fresh. But what matters is that the reward is always powerful enough to justify effort. Even for simple tasks, don't downgrade the payoff. When a dog gives full commitment to a sit or a recall, they should still feel like it was worth it. Because we're not just rewarding behavior, we're reinforcing attitude. The goal is to build a dog that works with intensity every single time, not only when the stakes are high. So let's talk about dynamics, the emotional tone and movement you bring into the sessions. Motivation doesn't live in stillness, it's built through motion, rhythm, and shared excitement. A lifeless delivery, even with good rewards, can fall flat. The way you present yourself matters. Your energy, your timing, your transitions, your intent. If you move like the training is mechanical, the dog responds in kind. But if you act like the game is alive, like something exciting is about to happen, the dog starts to light up. Engagement flows where energy leads. That's why play-based handlers often get such strong focus. The dog isn't just working for food or toys. They are working for an emotional experience. And one of the most effective tools here is contrast in movement. Dogs are highly responsive to sudden shifts, fast to slow, low to high, calm to explosive. These changes catch their attention, trigger instinct, and make the interaction feel dynamic and unpredictable. Moving slowly and then bursting into play, pausing before a sudden release, alternating between soft and intense voice tones. This contrast sparks the dog's curiosity and excitement. It keeps their nervous system alert, their brain engaged, and their body ready. And this doesn't mean you need to be frenetic or over the top. It means you must become a reliable source of momentum. Sharp marker timing, smooth transitions, playful breaks, vocal inflection, body language, all of it contributes. You can have perfect mechanics, but if your dynamics are flat, motivation fades. On the other hand, a highly dynamic handler who knows how to use contrast with intention can turn even basic drills into magnetic, joyful work. When your energy invites the dog into the process, you're not just giving rewards, you're becoming one. Let's proceed with session length, which is one of the most underrated factors in motivation. It's not about how long you train, but it's about when you stop. Most people go too long. They keep pushing past the point where the dog is mentally or emotionally saturated, and what started as engagement turns into avoidance, confusion, or boredom. The best sessions end with the dog wanting more. That's how you build anticipation for the next one. You don't want to see the energy dip before you stop. You want to end at the peak. When the dog is still alert, excited, and engaged, that's your moment to walk away. It creates a kind of psychological hook. The dog stays in drive, thinking about the game even after it ends. This is what makes training addictive. Short, powerful sessions leave a strong emotional imprint. And it's not just about stopping early, it's also about reading your dog and adjusting session length based on mood, focus, and how rewarding the work actually feels. Some days 5 minutes is perfect. Other days you might stretch to 10, but as a rule, quality over quantity always. 1 minute of intensity is worth more than 20 minutes of repetition. If you end before the dog starts checking out, you're protecting motivation for the long term. Consistent overtraining, even by a few minutes, slowly erodes engagement. Consistent undertraining though builds craving. That craving is what makes the next session better than the last. So the last piece of advice for today is about outside management. Because motivation isn't just shaped in the moment, it's also affected by everything else that happens outside of training. If a dog spends the day overstimulated, freely accessing all his favorite rewards, rehearsing chaotic behaviors, or burning energy in unfocused play, there's little left to bring into training. You show up with a tug or a treat, but his internal drive is already spent. On the other hand, if the dog's day is structured with intention, balanced between rest, movement, limited access to rewards, and the clear boundaries, his motivation is preserved. He begins to associate training not just with the reward, but with fulfillment. That's the goal. The life the dog lives outside the sessions directly influences the quality of engagement inside of them. Control over routines, strategic management of energy, and supervision of free time. All of this matters. You're curating a lifestyle where training becomes the most rewarding part of the day. And when that happens, the dog brings more to the table before you even start. High motivation isn't built in isolation, it's the byproduct of a system. Everything the dog does when he is not training echoes into the moment you ask him to. So if you want true engagement, if you want a dog that shows up with intensity, focus and heart, it won't come from repeating commands or cranking out drills. It comes from shaping motivation at its root, from controlling deprivation, choosing meaningful rewards, mastering your dynamics, timing your sessions, and managing life outside the work. This is where the magic happens, not in the cues but in the desire behind them. The trainers who get the most out of their dogs aren't necessarily the ones who know the most theory. They are the ones who know how to make the dog want to train. And that starts with understanding how to control the emotional economy of motivation. If this kind of approach speaks to you, if you're serious about deepening your skill and transforming the way you train, make sure to subscribe. There's a lot more coming and I would love to have you on this journey. See you in the next one.